had a lot better wins than that one, but it's still a win. You know, we thought we played very well on defense. And our backs were against the wall multiple times, but we ended up coming through. Offensively, we did some good things, but second half they made it a little tough. Rain, humidity, and things like that, and lost a couple fumbles, of course, and gave them some hope, along with a surprise on side. So things we need to clean up, of course, ball security and things like that. But you know, we're sitting pretty right now. We're 3-0 in conference. You know, going into this week, got a chance to be 4-0. So we're in a good position, a lot better than we were last year for sure.
Talk about you know, you held them to 188 total yards, lowest of the season, under 50 yards rushing, with really a thin defensive line, defensive end. Just kind of talk about how the defense played this week.
Yeah, we were out. We were without 3 defensive ends, of course. We got 1 loss of the year, Marcus Foster. Chris Livin's been dealing with a high ankle sprain, and KD had emergency back home in Miami. So we were out 3 guys, but Cam ended up going to defensive end, Peterson, and played really well. So, you know, we played with the guys we had, but I thought we carried out the game plan. We tackled extremely well, and as long as we got B.J. Blunt, I feel like we got a chance. You know, B.J.'s been playing outstanding. There's a lot of guys played well. I thought the defensive backs were in coverage really good for most of the night, and we made it tough on them, and we had a good defensive performance.
You mentioned about the reasoning for switching, going with Cody late in the game. Can you just talk about that decision?
Yeah, you know, we played Cody throughout the game. Of course, Cody made some runs for us, and then when it's got late in the game, of course, we'd fumble the ball a couple times with the running back. So we wanted to have another dimension, I guess, to our offense with Cody's legs. So Cody pulled a couple balls and made some good runs with it. We just thought he gave us the best chance of icing the game, and ended up working. So I feel like we got a guy that's different than James, of course. James is still the starter, but there's a time and a place for Cody, you know. So the more snaps Cody get, the better he's going to be, of course.
Okay.
Every game is different, but if you're faced with that scenario again, would you go to that again?
Yeah, we'll do the same thing. You know, if we feel like we're having a hard time running with the running backs, you got another guy that can pull the ball and run. So, you know, anytime you got a quarterback that can run, you know, it's tough on defense. I know I'm a defensive guy. So whether it's third down or whether it's a first down play, of course, on the first down play, you got all the RPO stuff. He can pull it and run. And then on third down, you can't just, you know, rush forward and drop everybody when you got a quarterback that can run as well without you spying on him. Whereas when James is back there, they don't have to spy on him. You know, they can get to him with the front 4. So it just adds a different weapon for us, and it's needed. And I'm glad we got it.
Has this crossed the boundary into a 2-quarterback system yet?
You know, we're going to continue to play Cody because, you know, a lot of times guys, teams in general, when you got one quarterback that's really good, you bank everything on him, and the other guy gets no reps, and all of a sudden that guy gets hurt, and then the quarterback that comes in now, he's taking his first live snaps, you know, in a game, and we don't want to be caught like that. We want to make sure that we have a guy that's ready to go, and the more we play Cody, the better, but we're not going to switch every series or things like that. But we'll try to get Cody one series in the first half and maybe a couple in the second half when it counts. I think that's also important, that a backup don't come in when it's mop-up duty. The game needs to count, because when he does become the starter, it's going to count. It's not the end of the game, just trying to ice it. So
I thought he runs better than Tabby.
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, looking forward now to Saturday at Abilene. Looks like, you know, an offense that's really putting up some yards, ranked #1 in the conference. Just what do you expect from them?
Well, they do multiple things. You know, their quarterback doesn't run very much, but they use a lot of motions, a lot of different formations, bunches, clusters, and try to get the extra blocker on a perimeter, and try to get backers cracked and things like that. So they present a challenge. Most of the time they have 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, but they do use multiple tight ends. You use 2, and then they also have a wildcat package where they come in with a backup quarterback who's more of a runner. Sometimes they've had 2 quarterbacks in the game where they've thrown the ball to one to do double passes. So we're looking for some trickery. We don't know what that trickery is yet, so we're going to have to play very sound and, you know, expect the unexpected for sure.
What kind of goals do you have set for the defense? They haven't been held under 20 points yet this year, so you setting goals for the defense going into?
We kind of have set goals every week, you know, and our goals are, one of the goals is to keep the opponents under 20 points, you know. And we have 330 yards rushing. But other than that, it's really our defense against the other defense. We want to create more turnovers than the other defense. We want to have more turnovers than touchdowns, than the opponent has touchdowns. And then our big stat that we really want every week is our third quarter shutout, you know, because a lot of times you go in at half and you're ahead or maybe behind. That third quarter is really important. And we used to talk about the first series of the third quarter, but now our motto is we got to shut out people in the third quarter because that's a huge quarter. You're either going to come back and catch up, or you're out in front. You probably ice the game a little bit, you know, going into the fourth without their offense scoring. So that's kind of a big stat for us.
On that, early in the year, over the top, the secondary gave up the chunk plays. It was on your mind. We've been talking about it. Beyond the BYU game with Stephen F., weather really wasn't conducive for something like that, but where have you seen improvement in that, or have you?
Well, a lot of times it's the quarterback, how athletic he is, where he buys time and the receivers break downfield. That's when we've given up some chunk plays in some of those games, not all of them. So, you know, we continuously got to work on that with quarterback scramble. Just scramble rules as a secondary to stay in coverage. Don't come out of coverage to make tackles on the quarterback until he tucks it and gets past the line of scrimmage, of course. So you get that sometimes with young DBs. They try to mow somebody else's grass instead of their own. So we've been getting better at that, and hopefully we continue to play well doing those things.
I know you're a defensive coach, but how confident are you in the offense that if the game may turn out to be a shootout, how confident are you in the offense to, I guess, kind of go tit for tat with Abilene?
It was definitely a team sport, you know, and we don't want a shootout, but sometimes that happens. Houston Baptist game was one of the ones where our offense had to come alive for us because we weren't playing well on defense because they was going a lot of tempo, a lot of different formations, and we struggled a little bit defensively, and the offense was there to play well for us. So, you know, we'll take a win any way we can get it, and it's a team sport. We got to do what we need to do to win, whether it's score 40 points or if it's score 10 points. You know, just trying to get the W, because at the end of the day, it's all that matters if you win the game. You know, so hopefully we don't get in a shootout. Me being a defensive guy, I don't want a shootout, but I also don't want a low scoring game either. So we want both sides to play well, and hopefully we do that this week.
You know, I know Ron will agree with me on this deal, but I had no idea he had so much that we were calling his name all night long as Blunt, but I had no idea he had all the stuff that's on this deal.
Yeah, BJ's tied in the nation for sacks right now as a linebacker, and we blitz him a lot. And third down, he does a lot of spying. We try to free him up a lot so that he can rush the quarterback. And so a lot of it is scheme, but a lot of it's just him. And then, of course, he has a bunch of tackles for losses. And he just plays the game the right way. He's got a high motor. He's very fast. He's violent. BJ can play at a lot of places. We're lucky that we have him here at McNeese.
You mentioned after the game, Livings maybe, or is he questionable? Where would you put him for this game? Or would you use him? Or would you rest him and give him another 2 weeks?
You know, if we use him, it'd probably be a third down situation. We'll probably bring him in on what we call our money package. He's going to practice more this week, but we want to make sure he's totally healthy because we got to stretch. You know, after the open day, it's going to be tough at Cornet Words. Of course, undefeated in the conference, and then we've got a bunch of big games, UCA, Southeastern. Not saying that this game isn't important, but if he's not all the way healthy, we don't need to play him. So we'll go through the course of the week and see if we can get him on maybe a third down package.
I know you touched on it a little bit, but their quarterback, Luke Anthony, seems to be pretty mobile. How do you plan on containing him?
Yeah, he's not a runner for us, pulling the ball down on run plays and running, but he does buy time. He is a good athlete. We've probably faced a couple guys that were a little bit more mobile, but he is mobile. So I don't know. We're working on first and second down right now, trying to, defend that, and then we're going to look into third down this evening and working on it on Thursday, of course, at practice. But we'll come up with a good game plan, I'm sure of it, where we can try to contain him and keep him in the pocket so we get some hits on him.
Can you comment on Parker in his situation? You mentioned he was, I think the word was banged up or bumped around, or will he play?
I don't know if he'll play this week. We'll wait on Doc Murphy to see if he'll play, and I'd like to hold him, of course, if we can, especially with an open date coming up, and then we got travel incorn at Word, that, so, I'd say he's doubtful.
What about KD? Is he back yet or not?
Katie's not back, he's still with his family right now. I haven't gotten, matter of fact, I need to call him today, see how his mom's doing, she's in the hospital, so, he's taking care of the brothers right now.
Can you comment on the 75th anniversary recognition this week? You played with all those guys, you coached with all those guys. Can you comment about that?
Yeah, I saw a lot of them play as well, and then I played with some and got to coach some, of course. So a lot of good players on that team, and it'd be good to see them back. I don't know how many's going to show up, but we'll have to do something maybe this spring with the spring game as well, and try to get everybody back so they'll have more notice of it, and which I think is a pretty cool deal. So Leonard Smith and guys like that played, Buford Jordan. Just the list goes on and on, Rusty Gilbo and all those guys. I watched, of course, play as a kid, and then played with Kavika and Zach and Kerry and a lot of guys on the staff. And then, of course, you got the guys I coached, Hadley, Keith Smith, Joe Judge, Rod Royal and all those guys. And so I'd like to see a lot of them, but I don't know how many he's going to be able to get in.
Is that this week?
Yes. And also, going for a milestone win, 500th all-time win in school history. You got a comment on that?
Say it again?
500th all-time win if you pick it up this Saturday.
Well, we're bound to get it this year, so I mean,
Better, we hope. We hope.
I hope it's this one. If not, we'll look for the next one. But yeah, I didn't. It's just a win. We got to try to win the game. If it's 500, it's 500. It's just another conference game. Trying to pick up another win. But McNeese in Lake Charles has been blessed to have a program like this. We've been winning for a long time, and I've always kind of thought that McNeese and LSU, in my opinion, the cream of the crop in the state. Of course, LSU's the top dog, but McNeese, we've been doing good for a long time here, and we both got great tradition and history. So that'd be pretty cool if we can get it this week.
What would the relationship between Guidry and Orgeron be with two quarterbacks?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, James has grown so much as a person. He's really Cody's mentor, and Cody, of course, being a coach's son, knows how a team works. So in that last drive, I stated after the game that we was trying to get him to jump off sides, and so we called a no play, and we wanted Cody to look to the sideline if they didn't jump, act like we gave him another call, and then go up and try and get him again. And he quite didn't understand, and James explained it to him. Look, dude, it's double alto, which is trying to draw him off sides, and I mean, it worked just like it. So James is all about the team. Of course, he wants to play, but it wasn't an envy of anything, like that. So it's really a good relationship right now. Now, of course, if Cody was to become the starter and James got benched, it may be a little different because everybody's competitive. But right now, they're really good for each other. I always thought that Cody, from the spring throughout fall camp, has really pushed and made James a better quarterback. But James has also been a good mentor for Cody. So it's a good relationship right now.